Oh yeah. This is gonna be a video of me retouching a photograph live. It is a headshot photo, and I'm just gonna show you my way and my methods of retouching photographs. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get set up, and in like 5 minutes I'm gonna start everything. Yeah. These headphones are mint. So I actually just spent quite a bit of time setting up OBS. So OBS is the streaming thing to stream to YouTube, and I think I got it mint. It's solid. Oh yeah. Oh, it is Monday. What is today? Monday, February 12th at 9 o'clock. Oh yeah. If y'all just joining, thank you. Leave a comment in the chat and I'll shout you out. Jennifer Davis in the house. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me guys know how's the audio for this video. I've set some filters. I've set a noise gate so it doesn't put too much of the background noise when I don't talk in the mic. So let me know how the audio is. Oh yeah, hanging with Tony in the house. He just released a video about Burled and Knotted. It's a very cool woodworking community. Go check his new video out. Yep, this is my bedroom. This is where I have my Mac and stuff. This live stream should be a little bit more clear than the last one. I have everything set up resolution and quality wise in this OBS. On the last live stream I was streaming with a Windows PC and I had to do everything on the fly. Oh yeah. So the people that's just joining, I am gonna retouch a photo live for you guys. This is actually my first time doing this ever. I usually teach photo to people or mentor people one-on-one. I've never done it to a wide audience. So for the people that do follow me on the YouTube, you probably know me as a vlogger, videographer, you know, all that video stuff, but I am a photographer by trade. Sadly, I don't have any of my cameras with me besides this. Oh, this is a video camera. This is an A7S. But, oh, let's start off with my very first camera. I can start off with that. 2 seconds. Hiya. As I kill things. Oh my god. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm tearing up the building. So people have asked me. Aha! I found it. So I started photography in 2004. I bought 2004 or 5. I don't have the camera anymore, but I started off with a Canon S400. It was a old school point and shoot from Canon. Yo, I remember calling out of work that day just to go get that camera because, you know, I saved up money to buy it. But I sold that camera eventually a year later to buy this thing. This is a old school Canon 2nd generation. Yes, 2nd generation. This is 2005-6. It's a Canon 20D. Oh yeah. I remember I bought this at the good old Ritz camera. Yeah, good times, good times. I had which I don't have right now. I bought this with a Sigma 24-70 f2.8 millimeter lens, which ever since I had that lens, I wanted to upgrade this body to something else, and it wasn't compatible. So ever since that time, I have not recommended any third-party lenses since then, because with third-party lenses, you just don't know if they're going to be future compatible to other new bodies in the future. But anyway, that's a little history of what I started with. Lately, I've been shooting a lot of studio stuff with the Canon 5D Mark II. It's a very good camera, very old, maybe a good 10 years old, but the camera is still really good and relevant for today. It's actually a really good camera. If you can pick it up, if you need a cheap camera, it's a little old, but you know, it still gets the work done. And being in the studio, and I actually use it for on-location shoots for weddings and all that, and it's still a good photo shooter camera. Just picked up a 6D Mark II, and that's okay. I wasn't so impressed with the photo quality. Video is amazing, but photo quality, I wasn't so impressed with it. Yeah. Let's see. Edmar001 in the house. Yeah, audio is good, he said. Oh, yeah. Adventures with Shania. Uh-oh. Her birthday vlog's been uploaded. Oh, yeah. I'll check it out. Go check out her birthday vlog after this live stream, guys. Ooh, so what else? Where was I? Oh, yeah. So I picked up the 6D Mark II, and I guess I wasn't really into that photo quality, but 5D Mark II is what I shoot most of my studio stuff with. It's hasn't given me a reason to upgrade yet. Oh yeah, happy birthday. Okay, so let's start with Photoshop. This is my method of editing photos. In Photoshop, like with any other art, there's so many ways to get from point A to point B. But I'm going to go over the basics, the essential things you need to learn and know for retouching a photo. There you go. And there's a few essential items. You know, I left my bag at the other house, but I don't have any of my photo stuff with me. This was a on the whim live stream. I was like, you know, I want to edit a photo. I want to put this out there. Oh yeah. But if you're editing photos or any kind of thing on the computer, you can use a mouse. This is an Apple mouse. I mean, it can be any kind of mouse, but save yourself some heartache and finger movements and all that good stuff, bad stuff. And get a tablet. You can buy a really cheap tablet, Best Buy, Amazon, for like $99. Pick up a Wacom, W-A-C-O-M. And I can show you guys if you guys don't know much about the tablets, but Wacom tablets. And pretty much one of these here. They have all kind of cool things to use a pen instead of a mouse. Well, yeah, look at this. All kind of stuff. You can even buy the ones with a screen on it, which is nice. But after a while, you don't need the one with the screen on it. You'll get used to mapping the pen to the tablet. Okay, so... Edmar001 saying, check out his Dragon Ball Super opening parody. I'll check it out. Shot on the iPhone 5S. Oh yeah, Apple fam. The iPhones are honestly a good camera. I have my reserved things about them, but you know. Let me share my screen and let's get started. How do I do this? I'll figure this out. Oh, here we go. I wonder if there's hotkeys for OBS so I can switch between scenes. Duly noted. There we go. I'm gonna be on the very top left, and I have everything shown to you. So at all of my shoots, whether it is wedding or if I'm shooting people, I always shoot this thing first. This is called a X-Rite color checker. Basically, all these colors are reference values to a known value. So when you shoot this, the computer will use this information to color correct an image. And let's go to the X-Rite website. I'll show you this. So basically, it's this thing here. It's a color checker passport photo. You get all this stuff here. Not sponsored. This I'm gonna put that out there. Nothing is sponsored when I talk about it. But yeah. So I already have put this into the computer. And here is what it looks like. See, right now I'm on camera neutral. This is what it looks like coming out of the camera. I shot this scene or photos with studio lights, so colors isn't really a big issue when it comes to color temperature, but depending on what kind of camera, each sensor is different. The camera sensor picks up color and interprets color differently. So this is a Canon 5D Mark II, and let's move to what the colors are supposed to look like. Okay, see, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. Ooh, that's too much. Okay. Obviously, I don't zoom that much. Oh, okay, there you go. Up close and personal. Okay, so I'm gonna change the profile to what the known colors are supposed to be, and look at the change. Not many colors change, but you can see a little difference. This is you need this if you're gonna shoot product photography, or if a model is wearing certain clothes or any kind of clothes that has color, because if the color comes out wrong, it's gonna look weird in the photo, or if whoever looks at the photo like, "Hey, no, that's the wrong color." But yeah, so the camera interpreted those colors, and this is what they're supposed to be. Okay, that's just a little bit on color checking and color correction quickly. On the color checker, you have these bars over here. You have a set for portraits, and you have a set for landscapes. But look at this. This is the eyedropper for white balance. We're in Lightroom, by the way, guys. And I start my all my cataloging and downloading of photos and basic edits in Lightroom. Then I send it over to Photoshop. But yeah, always start out with color balance. You can do, the eye. You can guess, but when you have tools, use them. So look at that. So the middle is kind of warm. It's at 5650 Kelvin. If you pick another one far, you can see what goes to 62 Kelvin, 100 Kelvin. Go all the way down here, 5150. You can see the image got cooler. Now, I've had a few people say that they don't need to calibrate the monitors, but of course they're just starting out, and they can just, as long as it looks good, it's fine. But calibrate your monitor, and calibrate your monitor with this thing here. There's all kind of companies that make color calibrators, but I use the X-Rite iDisplay Pro. So if you go to the X-Rite site again, maybe not. X-Rite i1 Display Pro. Basically, it's this thing here. You put this on your monitor, and it calibrates the monitor to known values. When you have your monitor calibrated, you will know that it should look good on most monitors. I mean, every monitor is different, but at least you have a reference. This is very good if you do any kind of production work or graphic design, because you want to know you have the color that you're choosing. Hope that's explained well, but yeah, I'm going to read that. Highest level of on-screen color accuracy. Oh yeah. But yeah, you know, if you're looking, I've always noticed if you're looking at a photo, and if you have an iPhone, as long night shift isn't on, the iPhone colors are on point. It's one of the phones or one of the screens, even the iPads, the colors are on point. There's no calibration needed. But yeah, each monitor or computer monitor is going to be slightly different, and color calibrator like this can turn your monitor into a much it can make it render better colors or colors more correctly. Anyway, let's make sure this is. So this is the color picker. So I'm gonna pick the neutral middle target right here, and 5650, 34. I'm gonna keep those numbers in my head, but I'm gonna edit number 880 today. No. Okay, 880. We're gonna edit this photo here. See, as you can see, I already put these values in, but according to what it's shot at a little less cooler, but I usually want, you know, a little warmer. You can use the auto setting sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. The auto settings wants it a little warmer, way too warm in my opinion. But yep, I'm gonna keep to what I had on the color checker, going to the color checker. So we go down here, change the camera calibration to the color checker file. You can see it gets a little warmer, color changes a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna send this over to Photoshop. Depending on your workflow, you can do all the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, and all that. I do this in Photoshop. If I'm gonna send over the photo to Photoshop, I might as well, because you can do anything in Photoshop you can do in Lightroom, and it makes it easier. Anyway, I'm gonna press Command E or Control E, depending on if you have Mac or Windows, and it'll send it to Photoshop. Now, if you don't have Photoshop, Photoshop is very cheap these days. Back in the day, you had to pay like a good $600-700 per year to keep up to date. But right now, it's $120 a year for Photoshop and Lightroom, which is a good deal if you use it. And it's or $9 a month, I believe. I have the whole suite of Adobe stuff, but you know. Okay, so let me show you a photo that I edited last night. I actually, you know, thought about doing this live stream last night when I edited this photo. This is the finished product, and this is the beginning. It's very subtle, but with every little thing you do, it makes the photo a little better, a little higher in its presence. But that's the original, and this is the final product. You can see the eye is a little sharper. The skin is smoothed out. I mean, she has really good skin already, but just everything that every little thing helps out a photograph and put that photo much in a I don't know, lost a word, maybe a higher rank than or better. Every little thing, every little bit helps. I'm not sure if you can see it much on the live stream. I just realized that, but maybe you can, maybe not. Oh yeah. My nose is always itching. So I'm gonna edit this photo here, but say if you shoot on a white background. Let's start with this. I'm gonna duplicate this image so I don't mess it up. Bye bye. Don't save. Okay, so let's delete all of this junk. I'll do everything from the beginning. Oh yeah. Actually, I want to show you. So you can see the background. I'm not, well, it's not pure white. If you look at the let's try this. We can use this. Hue saturation. No. Level exposure. You can see that when I bring it down, That's not really showing you guys, is it? This one's sometimes when you shoot a background, it's not full white, and you can see shadows and creases in the background. I shot this on a muslin, and this is actually a really good photo. I guess the background is kind of blown out, but it's still kind of grayish. After I did the white background, you can see, don't mind her, but the background is pure white now. See the difference? The background turns pure white after the edit. But what we do to make the background white, you take, this is my way of doing it. I'm gonna duplicate this, Command J or Control J, and it duplicates the layer right there. Go to Filter, then Camera Raw Filter. This is quick and dirty. There's many ways to do this, but take whites all the way up, and you can see the white of the background gets full white, pure white. Oh yeah, or you can even if you make it even more white, you can do that. With the exposure, you can bring it all the way up. Don't mind her because we're gonna cut her out and put her on top again. Okay, so Hanging with Tony asked, why are more and more models calling out magazines for photoshopping their photos? It's the fashion industry. People, it's the whole thing of body positivity, which, you know, I don't know my thoughts about that, but, you know, yes, be positive about your body, but that's another talk for another episode of a live stream. I gotta sit down and think about that. But people, I think they compare themselves to models, and they don't realize that the models show themselves at their best. Or if you follow a lot of Instagram models, a lot of like the real ones, the ones that, you know, are like real talk and are very open, they'll show themselves side by side with one photo of them, you know, looking at their normal, and one photo of them, like, you know, sucking in or flexing. It's just, I don't know why people always call out the models, because everybody wants to see perfect photographs. I mean, no one really honestly wants to see a photograph that's not retouched, if that's a thing. I think I said that right. People always want perfection, I guess, even though I guess if you're looking at kids, yeah, I guess this is the talk right now. Hey, that's good thing hanging with Tony. What hanging with Tony said about why people calling out magazines for photoshopping their photos. I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. Hanging with Tony. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about that in a live stream. We can gather photos and all that in a future video, guys. I gotta gather my thoughts about that, because as a retoucher and as somebody that always have done this to photos, it makes the photo look good. Yes, some retouchers, they do way overkill, like make the they can reshape the body or make the thigh gap, and I personally think that's way too much. But things like taking out a pimple or a zit or blemishes or doing skin smoothing, I think that's fine, because that you can replicate that with makeup in real life. But I mean, you can't really tuck somebody's stomach in like on the spot. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Hanging with Tony, me and Hanging with Tony on the live stream. Oh yeah, coming soon. You know, my nose is always itching in these live streams. Okay, so back to the background. Ooh. I'm gonna take that up. Okay, yeah. So that we know, we can see the background is much brighter. You can see right here. You can see it's kind of gray, and it kind of works, but it's just the look. The look of the photos like this is usually supposed to be full white. But here's the thing, it's like, now people ask, how do you, she's blown out now, yeah, she is. So what we're gonna do is take the original and just cut her out. Okay, so there's many ways to do this, of course, but Photoshop CC added a feature called where is it? Select and Mask. They changed that name in 2018. Previous versions, if you're using any of the CC models, that's before 2018. It was called Refine Mask. But I'm gonna take this tool here. This is a selection tool. It's a quick selection tool, and just select her real quick. Okay, you can see it got her around here, but if you look really closely, you can see it missed some of the hairs, and this is what the select mask will do. The select and mask will do. It'll refine it. Honestly, like a photo like this, if you blow out some of the hairs, it's fine. No, most people won't notice. Because honestly, if you unless you're putting it out like poster board, you're gonna watch it on Facebook or Instagram, and it's gonna be like this small. I mean, you're not gonna really notice much. You'll notice the little things like the eyes and all that, but no. So I'm just using this photo to start off with by showing you guys how to white out a background if you need to. But yeah, let's go into select and mask. Sorry guys, I have my screen over here, and this has the chat on it. Okay, so you can see it brought the background to a good transparency, and default settings, it did a good job picking up everything on the sides. And this thing here, if you selected pretty decent, just play with the radius settings over here, and you can zoom in and out. And you can refine the mask using these tools on the side, but this looks good already. I want to bring the radius up a little bit. One can spend a long time in here and fix. See, it found all the hairs right here. That's good. Her hair this time is, in this shoot, was very straight. You can see it kind of got crunchy over here, which you can fix that. But in this live stream, I'm not going to worry about that. You just play with the settings and it'll come out. Some of the hair, you can select it. Okay. So press OK down here, and it makes this little selection. What we're gonna do is Command J or Control J. You just make a cut. You can see in this layer right here, layer 1, it made there you go. It cut out of the original photo. So you put the cutout on top of the whiteout background, and there you go. You have a full white background. See? Totally blown out background for that perfect headshot. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm done with this photo. I just wanted to show you how to white out a background. So this photo here, we're gonna use this to do the blemish removal and some. If I zoom up in here, you can see this is what we're gonna not level out, but make better. You can see some hairs I'm gonna get rid of. So, ooh, I'm gonna duplicate the background. I'm gonna call this spot removal. You don't have to rename the layers, but I do because I always come back to the photo like to use it or show it off or whatever. But what I do to start off with is I'm gonna remove a bunch of spots, and This is gonna get boring, but this is what you do on the photo. Okay, so it is 9:30. I want to see how long it takes me to do a photo. So over here, you have healing brushes. New version of Photoshop has a spot healing brush, is automatic, but sometimes you need to tell Photoshop what you want to sample. Okay, let's get in there. Now, when you do this, if you do any spot removal on a face, do it really random. So go one place and do it next, because people and faces and skin is random. So you want to right here. I'm using the Option key, and I think it's going to be Alt on the PC. But I'm going to press Option, select a sample, and just get rid of stuff. It's always good to have the sample size and the brush close to the size of what you're trying to heal. So, if you're watching this in the replay, I will post down below when I finish all this. But yep. This is where I should cue a time lapse if I was doing this post production, but I'm not. This is totally live stream. See, this is where the glory of having a tablet is nice. Hopefully this computer doesn't crash. This is an old MacBook Pro 2011, and the brush locked up. Is Photoshop lock up? Ooh, okay, not good. Yeah, boy. Okay. I remember I was trying to stream with running Premiere in the back, Premiere, and the computer did not like it. I need to upgrade. You know, I'm an Apple fan, but I'm sure I'm not gonna probably buy a balled out Windows PC. Me and Tony, hanging with Tony, should do that project. Make it a vlog or something. Coming soon, summer 18. So I'm just going around getting rid of a lot of distractions. This hair in the eye is a distraction to me, so I'm gonna get rid of it. It's so amazing what technology can do these days. Some people can do it hella fast, but you know, this is probably the most time consuming. Okay, there it goes again. Now my pen is pressure sensitive, so that's okay. Sometimes you have to go over your spot healing to fix the spot healing issues or errors. Because sometimes it makes a streak. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through this. So sometimes you need aids to retouch a photo, and in the video world, it's called false colors, which I just picked up this technique last year, and I was like, oh man, I never thought about doing this. But what do? Okay, so in the video world, I use false colors to find errors or stuff of light and dark and textures in the video, but we can also apply that to photos. So make a curve selection, curve adjustment layer right here, and we're just gonna do 4 adjustments to the bar graph here. Okay. Okay. This is what we call false colors right here. You can see where the red is. It is very bright right there, or more exposed than the blues over here. So if you let me pan back and forth. These are issues that we're gonna fix later in the retouch. You don't have to, but it's just that one more thing to make the photo even better. Ooh. Oh, okay. I was wondering why. I have a random rogue spot right there. Oh well. It works. Let's zoom back in. So who's here? Check in if you can. Oh yeah. J on the keyboard is the healing brush. Make sure I'm on the spot layer doing this, but get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Skin is pretty good already. I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, this thing is. Let me save this so just in case. When I shoot people, I always ask them if I see a mole on them or anything, like do they want to keep that? Because some people, that is their identifying mark. She doesn't have any that I know of, but some people, they have marks they want to keep because that's how people identify them. I remember I knew a photographer that got rid of an identifying mark, and man, you never heard the end of that. See, these are very, very little things, but these little things adds up to making the photograph better. So I shot this photo with a 70 to 200 millimeter, probably at 135-ish. And no, that looks like 100-ish. Let me see. Okay, I was right the first time. 135-ish. 130. How do I go back? There you go. And shooting that far in, zoomed in, your depth of field is very shallow, and I think I shot this at like f4. That looks like f4-ish. Let's go back and look. Yeah, 4.5. Oh wow. When you shoot with your equipment enough, you know what the photo's supposed to look like, depending on what kind of settings. Edmar001, it's already looking great, bro. He is right. You know what? I'm gonna find a photo next time to a really, really bad photo and make that really good. But in the fashion and portrait headshot talent industry, this is what they do. They make beautiful people even more beautiful. Normal people will call this overkill, but I guess that's what it takes to be beautiful, right? See, when you get used to doing retouches, some people won't see this, but I do because you can see a little red on it. But if you go into the false colors, you can see it. It's a little not smooth here. So you know there's something there, but the lighting hid most of it. I'm just gonna do that. So if you're wondering how I shot this photo, this is actually something that I usually don't do because usually headshots I use butterfly lighting. Basically you have you have two lights on a butterfly lighting equal, and you have the model in front of those two lights right in the middle. But this light, this shoot I only shot with one big light. It was an octobox. It was like probably a 50-inch octobox. It's a very, very big diffuser. You can see in the eye. So this is one of the secrets that a lot of veteran photographers know is how do you tell what light source? Because a lot of people ask me like, how do you tell what light source the photographer used? And some people, if you're not a photographer or if you're not a seasoned photographer, the people will be like, yeah, I think that was shot in the studio. And I always ask like, with what lights? But some people, I guess, I personally am not a natural light photographer. I grew up in the studio. I learned in the studio. I got taught in the studio. So my expertise is studio photography. But you can tell a lot of where a photo was taken by the eyes. You can see I used one light, like I was talking about. It's an octabox, 8-point box, and I have a reflector on the right side of her, which you don't see because it didn't reflect that much light back. But yeah, it was one key light and 2 lights lighting the background. That's about it. 3-point lighting setup, plus a reflector, which the reflector bounced some light back onto this portion of the photo. But anyway, lighting class, or maybe a live stream coming soon. Okay, let's get back into this. 9:40. Maybe if I stop talking so much, I'll get done faster. I honestly don't need to be. I want to do a little more things that are like big, then I'll get into more stuff that I use to edit photos, because that's what you guys are here for. And I can go back later to finish this photo and level it out more. So I'm using the word level out, but you don't want to level a face too much. I mean, you can go really in there and just level out all these pits and these pores, but there's tools for that these days that does a very good job. Okay, so like I was saying, I shot this at like f4 or 4.5. You can see the focus is focused on the eyes here, but at 135 millimeters, 130 millimeters, you have compression that come into play. So when you focus on the eyes are sharp, and this is the nose and mouth is sharp. But as you go towards the back of the face, it starts to blur out. So it's kind of like a natural Gaussian blur going back, or lens blur to skin softening. But we're gonna soften it more because we can control it in Photoshop. So I'm gonna duplicate this layer. Another way to duplicate a layer is just to drag it down. I probably can spend a lot of time in the spot removal. So what I'm doing it by hand, because by hand it is always random. I'm talking about random because it looks natural, it looks organic. When you use a plugin to do things, sometimes people go overboard. Have you ever seen those photos? Okay, I know you guys seen those photos that the person does not look like the person. Why is that? Because I guarantee you it's a plugin. Every plugin for portraits. Let's go into that. I'm already screen sharing. Good. I hope I was. That was kind of funny if I did all that and not screen shared. This software here, it's called Portrait Pro. It's actually a really good software. Pretty much everything's automatic. Like what I'm doing right now, it'll do it automatic. But if you let the program do everything and decide everything from start to finish, it'll always look like an image from Portrait Pro. And a lot of veteran photographers and retouchers and people in the industry that look at talent photos or model photos will know if you use this plugin solely. So this is if you're gonna spend $60 to I guess $100, depending on which version you buy. This is a really good software. But the other one that I want to show you, this is called Portrait Pro, so portraitprofessional.com. The other one, this is Portraiture 3. This is skin retouching. It basically is the skin softening for photos. Yeah. This one runs about, I think, Portraiture. I don't know how much it runs. Maybe 100, depending on, I don't know what it runs these days. I bought mine like way back when, OG. I'll buy now, huh? Get $200. Ain't that bad? Very worth it. There's so many ways, and there's all sorts of videos on YouTube and the web about how to soften skin. But if you are doing it as a hobby, yeah, you can do it by hand. Set the Gaussian blur, the opacity, you can do all that. But with plugin makes your life easier and faster. So if you're doing like 100 photos, you definitely don't want to do everything by hand, especially something that a plugin can do very quick. And with this plugin, I've noticed that it's a Gaussian blur. When you apply it to an image, it applies it to the full image, and it's like, well, it'll be flat if you do it using the Gaussian blur, which a software like this one here, Retouch, it follows everything by, it's very random. It's a very good plugin. So default settings is usually good. If you are shooting a new model, you're gonna have to play around the settings a lot, but I've shot it before and I know I have my previous settings already loaded, so I'll press OK. I'll show you everything in a second. Okay, so spot removal. Okay, I'm gonna name this to skin smoothing. Yeah, that broke in English. Okay, let's. As you can see, well, I've always wondered how it looks on the live stream because I'm seeing a lot of things. So I know this is way overkill. This is way too smooth. This is like the goal is not like glass baby smooth skin because it looks edited. The goal is for headshots is to look natural. And yeah, you even zoomed out, you can tell that the image is way too softened. So I'm gonna take off the skin smoothing, and it gets a little sharper. Let me zoom in because it'll on the live stream it'll look better. Or see, you can see all this here, the wrinkles or and the pores, but with the skin smoothing, you can see it goes away a little bit. But the plugin, it applies it to the whole image, not just the skin. So we have to mask it. Let's create a mask. This little button right here creates a mask. So basically what we're gonna do is tell this layer in Photoshop what to apply the effect to. Let's do that. I'm gonna fill the mask with black. So black is the mask and white is gonna be like cutting out the mask where you can spray paint through it, if that makes sense. But let's turn on the mask right here. Okay, so I use this look because when I mask stuff so I can see better. No. I know there's a whole thing about masking and why it's red, but I don't know that story. I've heard the story many times. If you guys know it, please tell me. So I'm gonna use the paintbrush, and black is See what happened was I gotta select the right mask. Black is the mask, and if I press X, I go to white. I'm just gonna go real big, and anything white right here, or turning white, is what is gonna show the skin smoothing that I just did. It's gonna pass through. Honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect because the skin smoothing is gonna be so minimal that you're not gonna notice much if you aren't as accurate. But one thing I don't want to have masked or softened is eyes. So I want to paint black back into the eyes. This is where a tablet comes really nice. It's pressure sensitive, so the less I press, the skinnier the brush. The more I press, the bigger the brush is. I just messed that up. That eyebrows, you don't want to soften eyebrows because hair softened is always weird. And teeth. Okay, so let's go back out of here. Got out of the mask. So you can see in the little thing here, this black here, black and white, is the mask. So you can see the outline of my mask, and this is the image right here. So let's turn off. Oh, let me turn off the mask too. There you go. Now you can see that the mask is only applied to the skin, not the hair, not anything else. So I'm gonna go back and forth. You really can see that with the skin smoothing on, this portion really gets smooth. That's nice. But keep in mind, I usually would do more on the spot healing. This hair is bothering me, so I'm gonna take care of it now while I'm here. So these headshots, the retouching, the more you do them, the more you kind of gain a style and what. Oh, okay, guys, I gotta apply this mask. Apply mask. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna delete. What I'm doing is called destructive editing. So every layer is another layer. There's something called non-destructive editing, which is a newer technique which I don't use. I haven't learned it yet, but this technique is a little old, but it works for me. What is it called? Oh yeah, skin smoothing. So each layer, if I can do that and turn it on and off, it'll change. So if I want to go back to the original, don't see it. Spot removal, you can see it in layers. I don't know how my brain works in a way, very sequential. So let me get rid of this hair because it was like bothering me. See, I made that because of the spot healing brush. I'm just gonna heal the spot healing brush errors. So there you go. There you go. Look at that. Hair is gone. Okay. So let's do some opacity work on this skin smoothing because default settings, which I could have lessened in the plugin, but I'm gonna show you another way you can lessen something. You can really go full on with the skin smoothing, but you can always dial it down with the opacity. See, that's full off and full on, but I'm gonna go like 70%. That's good right there. That's probably too much. Shot the photo using compression to have that natural skin smoothing using the lens, but there you go. Okay, let's skin smoothing. So my next one is gonna be eyes and mouth. So I'm gonna duplicate this layer again, and I'm gonna call it eye, mouth. So in headshots or portrait photography, any kind of portrait photography, unless it's fashion in a way, because fashion you usually, show off the clothes, while with headshots you show off the face, the talent. And with any photography, the focus should be the eyes. With the eyes, you want to brighten them up and sharpen the pupils or this area here. I am not a science person. What is that called? I feel stupid right now. Oh yeah, there's I'll show you the old-fashioned way of doing this and by hand. This is one method that I know, and sometimes the plugin that I'll show you in a second works, but if it doesn't, because it's a plugin, sometimes it doesn't calculate things right. You gotta do it by hand. And I'm gonna make another copy of this. So you can have two copies, the under layer and the top layer. The top layer is gonna be the one that I'm gonna brighten up. So the blending layers right here, go to screen. Oh yeah, look at that. I brightened up the photo a lot, and we're gonna do the masking again. Set the mask, fill it to black because I wanna just do the eyes. And I'm gonna use my good old brush to color in white. So white is I'll zoom in this one real good. White is going to be passing through the mask, while black is, let me do that. So see, I'm painting in white on the mask, and it's gonna let the screen layer, this layer here, pass through to this one. See, this is gonna be an interesting one because right here, there's hair. So okay, and this eye, depending on who you talk to, these should be on separate layers, left eye and right eye. But in the sake of time, I am gonna just do everything on one layer. The reason why you might want to do it on 2 layers is so you can have separate controls on left eye, right eye, and how you brighten them. So that's normal, and that's demon. So you'll know if you see a photoshopped image by the eyes, because new retouchers will leave it like this, and they just, what's the words I'm looking for? They overdo things. So, okay, let me apply this. Oh no. Apply layer. So, same thing with the smoothing, just take it down a notch. It doesn't look so demonish now. So, look at that. Oh yeah. Okay. What did I do here? Okay. There you go. That's the eyes, brighten them up. That's actually a lot for my taste too. I'm bring it all the way down to 10%. There, just enough to brighten them, to bring your eyes to that the eyes, because your eyes always usually go to what's brightest. And for eyes, we're gonna do some sharpening. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna duplicate the spot removal layer and merge the skin layer with the spot removal copy. I'm doing this because my skin smoothing is at 60% and I don't want to duplicate that. But anyway, because when I duplicate the skin smoothing, and if it has an opacity, it's just gonna add it. If that makes sense. Hope it does. So let's do this. Oh no, like that. And we're gonna call this eye sharpening. So on top of what your eye follows, this is like graphic design or any kind of design. Your eyes always follow what's brightest or what is sharpest. So I shot this with the L series lens on Canon, and everything's gonna be sharp. But if you can just make that one thing a little more sharper, oh yeah. So this is very easy. Take the sharpening tool right here, sharpen tool, and make your brush size the size of the pupil, and just start painting in sharpness. You can see you got a little sharper right there. Okay, oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay, you can see that's a huge difference from what we had. So that's right there. Right there. Let me zoom in, because I know you live stream people might not see that if it's zoomed out. So eye sharpening. No eye sharpening. Eye sharpening. Just a hint. Actually, I kind of want a little more. Okay. Oh yeah. That makes a huge difference. So this is the eye, all the eyes together, and a little more. Okay. So I just spent probably like a good 5 minutes doing that, maybe 10. I wasn't counting. So I'm at 30 minutes on this photo, which isn't that bad, because a retoucher can spend hours on a photo, which I don't recommend, but it happens. Okay, let's turn off this eye sharpening layer, or this eye layer that we did, sharpening and the brightness. I just merged everything down. I merged the brightness with it too, so I'm gonna change it to brightening. Bright by hand. Okay, so this one, let me duplicate the skin layer again because this is what I want to show you with the plugin. Eyes. This is that plugin that I was talking about, the Portrait Pro. So one of the things that the Portrait Pro does is eyes, and it does it very well. Let me show you. Sometimes it does it well. Sometimes, you know, it can't calculate stuff, but Anthro Products, Portrait Pro. Oh yeah. Woo! Finding faces. This is a very powerful plugin if it works. See, you can see it found the face right here. You can select female, male, girl, boy. So she's a female. Well, I guess. See, this is before and after. This is what the program automatically does, and some people, okay, they don't know better, so they just click go and post. Don't do that, guys. So I'm gonna see. Sometimes you gotta force the PC to select the right. Oh, okay, that's not good. Oh, the computer's going slow because live stream life. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's there. I'm only using the this for the eye, so let me just make sure the eyes are perfect. See, it selected the pupil, the iris, and everything. Mouth I want to fix because usually I use mouth with Portrait Pro. Depends on how it calculates it. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes you're like, okay, maybe I should do it manually. Sometimes you just want to do it manually. Okay, computer's really. Okay, that's close enough. Okay, so this is what Portrait Pro does. It this is bad. Don't do this, guys. You can see the eyes are super sharp and totally white. And what Portrait Pro does is it likes to take a lot of weight off of people, which it works sometimes, but you gotta play it by ear. I'm gonna turn off all the effects, which I don't use half of them anyway. I'm just showing you this. I don't use them, but look at that. This is crazy what this software can do. Look at that. That's crazy, ain't it? Yeah. This is when people get the photos back and it doesn't look like them, they probably use Portrait Pro, and yep, they try to do it. I mean, there's a point where you can do it and you can get away with it, but if you don't know what you're looking at or looking for, or if you're not like in tune with retouching, it's gonna look fake. I'm gonna turn that off because people, if the goal of this is to, you know, show who they are. If you sculpt their face or their body, it's not really them anymore. This is what Tony was bringing up, you know, doing it too much, and this is very controversial slider, which new people like to use or people that don't know better. Anyway, let's turn that off. We ain't gonna use that. Skin smoothing. This software also does skin smoothing, which it does it, but it doesn't do it as well as I can't say this word, portraiture. It kind of like levels everything. It literally makes it like glass, and I can't show it now because I already did a lot of the skin smoothing by hand. Skin lighting controls. It's weird. Okay, so this is another. That was a Portrait Pro image. They keep the skin lighting control. You can see that it sculpts the lighting in a way that screams Portrait Pro. So if you see it, this plugin has a look to it, and that's what it looks like. Nope, turn that off. Makeup controls. Honestly, I don't know what it does. I don't use it. Eye controls, this is what I use a lot because it's fast. Look at all this. You can do all this by hand. Whitening, clean eyes, whitening area, darken pupil, widen pupil. You can sharpen the eyes, which we did. Sharpen eyebrows because hair. Brighten the iris. You can do all this by hand, or you can turn it on and it just does it for you. Which the default setting is always way too much. So let's go into the face. Okay, how do I go? Okay, ooh. So you can see it's way overkill. Zoom out again. Okay, so this is off. This is on. If it looks like a demon, back it up, back it back, back it back. So let's go to I like very subtle. So trust me, with the eyes, you don't want overkill because just a little makes it pop so much more. Okay, so on, off, on, off. See, very subtle. Most people won't notice that. But this is uh-oh. This is before, after, before, after, before, after. Okay, now let me show you. Let's go back to what people too much is. Before, after. Nah, yo, don't do that. Keep that in mind. Back it off. I'll keep it at 15. I'm kind of one of those kind of even numbers have to be on a 5 or 2. Yep, I'm gonna keep that. Very quick if you're doing a lot of photos. Hair controls. This is actually really cool. You can change somebody's hair altogether. No mouth and nose control. This is really cool. Okay, let's turn that on. Why? Because this whitens teeth. So the same way that I whitened the eyes right here by hand, you do the same technique for teeth. But with technology and plugins, if it works, works. You can see this has whitened teeth, clean area, lip saturation. You can do all this in the plugin. I can't see red that well, so I can see the change, but I don't know if it's better or not, but it looks better. Whiten area. So no, whiten teeth. Look at this. 65, but bring it down. Way too much. 65 was honestly a good one, but I'm gonna leave it pretty much at right there. Very small changes. Okay. Well, what else is in this program? Hair control, or lighting controls. Here's another one that screams. So this with the skin lighting control, it's like that's Portrait Pro. Interesting. See, early in the video, I turned on false colors, and you saw the brightness right here, a little more exposure in this area, and I wonder if the newer version of Portrait Pro fixes that, but it's all good. I'm just using this software, this plugin for mouth controls and eye controls because quickness. Before, after, very subtle. Let's return the plugin. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is it. Let me Portrait Pro, eyes, mouth. I always label my layers because I need to know what it is. I mean, you can find it out the old-fashioned then on-off way, but you label everything, keep it very organized, you be solid. Okay, this is looking much better than before. Let's go back to the original. Well, see, it's so subtle you can't even see it's change. A little. Okay, so this is gonna be the biggest change because the face is a little overexposed for my taste, so I'm gonna kind of de-brighten it, if that's the word. We're gonna dodge, burn. We're gonna burn. Burn is you bring the exposure down, and dodge is, well, you dodge. This terms in the darkroom. So I'm gonna burn this portion a bit. Oh, wrong layer. I did it on the wrong layer. Okay, let me duplicate that layer. This is dodge. No, burn. Burn skin. So Dale Williams talked about asked I was using a plugin for this. Which plugin? On the eyes and mouth. I used this plugin here. It is called Portrait Pro. If you're just joining this chat, mark down this timestamp and go back like 10 minutes, and I ranted about how you shouldn't use everything from the software because it screams Portrait Pro. But yes, this is a very powerful software if you pick and choose what you want to take from it. And the skin softening plugin is this one here, Portraiture 3 Imagenomic. I found this plugin following Frank Doroff. He actually has a book. Hold up, let me get it. He wrote this book, Mastering the Model Shoot. I haven't read it yet. Still brand new, mint. But he's a really good fashion photographer. So follow him follow this guy. He does good portrait and photo stuff. But yeah, he turned me on this plugin Portraiture way back when it was version 1. Now it's version 3. But yeah, Portrait Pro is very controversial in the retouching industry. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, burn skin. I'm gonna lighten that up. Oh, okay, I way too much. Remember, you can always undo and try again. I want to do a little more here. Okay. Keep in mind, I have a big brush, but I have pressure sensitivity on the pen, so you can see a little change right there. A little change, very subtle, but it's a big difference. Look at that. You can see this comes down. It matches the rest of the skin. I actually want to take down this forehead a little more. Yeah, it's still red. So let's get the burning tool. Burn, baby, burn. So people that are watching, if you haven't done darkroom, it's an experience. You have to try it at least once, or find somebody, or find a place that does it still. Most of the community colleges that have a photo department probably do it still. It's very expensive now. Dang. But yeah, when you burn an image in darkroom, you basically underexpose that image with a tool. Wait. Underexpose the image with a tool. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, okay. I'm thinking Photoshop, and I'm mixing up with darkroom. So basically, you would take. I'm gonna get back to you on that. It's kind of reverse. I don't know how to explain it. Huh. I'm gonna think about it, and I'll talk about it later. Gotta get the words right. Okay, that's probably way too much. Let me go back. Okay. Let's see how much did I do. Okay. Yeah, look at that. See? It brought the forehead down a lot. Now, instead of when it's bright, you kind of focus on the bright part. Because that's how your eye look, how your brain works. But now I burn the dark, the very overexposed parts of the skin, and your eyes are focused on the eyes now. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. There you go. Now let's try this here. Original. You might can't see a like drastic difference on the live stream, but when you print it out or show it online, it every little counts. Every little bit counts. You create that style, and if you shoot photos and you see your photos online, you go through a bunch of photos, and sometimes you're like, "Hey, I shot that one," because not because you remember the photo, but I can go back like years back, and I'm like, it's your style of editing, your style of retouching. You see it, and people that follow you a lot will actually see your style, and it's kind of cool to notice people's style in photography or any kind of art. What's next? What's next? What do I do next? Okay, hair. This is something I do. Some other retouchers do it too, but we bring out the highlights in the hair. You don't have to do this, but that little pop always is nice. Keep in mind I'm doing destructive editing, so I'm making a duplicate of every layer, so each layer going down is a different edit. But if you want to learn non-destructive editing, that works too. Maybe we should do a together learn on a live stream soon. I'm kind of the guy that don't fix it if it's not broke. What is this? Oh, here, hair. So this, some people take the dodge tool or the burn tool. The burn tool, you can darken the shadows in the hair, but I think they're dark enough. And I'm just gonna take the dodge tool so I can brighten up some of the pieces, like the highlight right here. I'm gonna bring it out a little bit. Bring out some right here. Okay. This is probably overkill because I haven't. Okay, I don't want. This is where I want to burn right here because it's. I think. Let me look. Okay, it's not. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Okay, so I'm gonna take the hair down because I don't want that noticeable. You're welcome, Dale Williams. You're welcome. Just a little bit for the highlight. So there you have it. So look at this image. I mean, you can probably be here for hours doing this. So I'm at almost 45 minutes, but then again, I've been talking throughout this whole edit. So I probably would cut this down half of 45 minutes doing this edit. But I feel like the face is a little overexposed for my taste. So being a retoucher, sometimes you have to step away from the monitor because you start looking at a photo or a video too much, you start over analyzing it, and sometimes you analyze. Sometimes you overanalyze it and see things that you shouldn't see. A lot of times, like, you know, I wake up the next morning and I'm like, what the hell did I do? Wow, that's overdone. But this is actually good. I'm pretty fresh in the photo stuff today. But like, I'm like overanalyzing, like, is the face overexposed? Is it not? Sometimes what I do, because sometimes you get used to the screen that you're on, and sometimes I would save the photo in a JPEG and send it over to the phone to see, like, is that look good? But I think it looks good. Okay, let's save this. Oh yeah. Save this. When you save it, since I started in Lightroom, it's gonna save it into Lightroom or the Lightroom library. Oh, this was a cool photo. Before we go back to the Lightroom library, I'm gonna show you this. So this is really cool. Oh no. Okay, it's not there. No. I moved the file. I'll open it from Lightroom. But let me show you the before and after, I guess. That's after, and that's before. Wait. Yeah. Oh yeah. See the before. we definitely took care of this this very blown out portion of the skin, which if you look at the after, you can see it's leveled out. And the eyes, your eyes go into the eyes, which is what it's supposed to happen. So the last thing I do for photos, the reason why I don't do this I don't do this step in Photoshop is because when I export a series of headshots or a series of portraits, I want to have the same look. So clarity, this is a very dangerous place to be, but clarity and sharpness depends on your output. For online viewing, you want to have a little clarity because it looks a little sharper. This adds that little pop. So I'm gonna bring it up like 5. You probably can't see it on a little bit. Okay, maybe 5 didn't do anything. You got 10. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna leave it at 10 or 9. You can see it. This is a little darker. It adds a little contrast. I don't know how to explain clarity, but it makes the image pop online. Sharpening. This is probably sharp enough. It's shot with a 70-200L lens. Admar001 said, never imagine how crucial photo editing when you thought that you already have a good pick and done more editing. But the eye of a professional, I can't talk. Wow. The eye of a professional, there's still room for more enhancement. I totally butchered that, but basically, yes, when you shoot a lot of photos, you get a style, and that style is definitely the photographer. And when people see my headshots and see my portrait work or my studio work, they know it's my work because I just have a look to it. But every photo can be edited better. But I talked about this in another video about video editing. Sometimes you just have to pull back and ask yourself, is the return is going to be good enough for the time you put in? Or sometimes you work on a photo or a video, it's like you put in so much time, but it's diminishing returns. But actually, you know, if I wasn't on the live stream, for time's sake, I probably would have spent a lot more time in that spot healing layer and trying to level out a lot of the pores. Not fully level out, but you know, get rid of some more of the blemishes. But I gotta remember, this is probably gonna be printed out on an 8x10 or be viewed online on an iPhone or maybe the computer, because most people don't view Facebook on a computer. I don't feel like they do. But yeah, there you go. What else can I talk about? Yeah, clarity. That's it. So export this and let's see, test photos. RGB. Okay. So the people that are still here, wow, I appreciate y'all. And if you're watching this after the live stream, or if you're in the live stream right now, well, I guess you can't leave a comment on the video when you can leave a comment on the live chat. But what do you want to see next on Photoshop? I know this is a long video, but I tried to show you everything like nit and gritty of it. And this is basic. There's so much other retouching skills you can do. Like now, okay, now I'm seeing it right now. This hair right here, I probably would get rid of this strand because it's a little bothering me. But I see that's nitpicking. And right here, I probably would have fixed this. But like hair, that's a whole nother technique. Like you can add hair to people, like make them like have a fro, or just using their hair to make hair. It's kind of cool. But I wanted to show you the other photo. Where is it? This was kind of cool. I was very proud of this one. Oh man. Here we go. So 2, 3. That's the original. Look at that. Yep, that's the original. This is the edit. You can see I got rid of the light box, and what was this right here? Oh yeah, this is the floor. Look at that. But she was jumping into the air. I had the strip light. I think it was a 24 by 12. like 36 by 12. It was I used policy buff stuff. Amazing equipment for dirt cheap. It's I would say it's Pro Photos competitor, but price wise, a Pro Photo is like 2,000 plus for each strobe light, while an Einstein flash from Policy Buff is like 500, but still very good lights. Like Pro Photos, like the Lamborghini, like do you really need it? Does it really do anything more for you? While like the Einstein is like a BMW. But anyway, yeah, look at that. Here's a real edit right here. I turned the vertical image because I like vertical images, but horizontal fits better with everything. Your eyes flow better. People, even though they're vertical, you should be shooting them horizontal because it's just the way your mind works. Like, I always tell people, shoot horizontal for portraits. Even it doesn't make sense, or headshots. It doesn't make sense, but it's always a better image. But yeah, look at this. I changed the, I photoshopped. Yeah, that's a good word. Photoshopped. So let me talk about Photoshop after I show you this. So there we go. Original, got rid of shit, and turned into horizontal. Look how much more that looks better. If that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's all I have for this live stream, guys. If you shoot photos, just keep in mind that a lot of photographers say, I will fix it in Photoshop. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. If you can fix it on the field while you're shooting the photo, fix it on the field while you can shoot it in the photo. Because if you're shooting it for money, no one's paying you to be on Photoshop. So that 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, that 5 seconds that you spend fixing a photo while you have the camera in your hand will save you 30 minutes to an hour or whatever X amount of time in Photoshop fixing that one mistake. So if you can do it in camera, and don't never say I'll fix it in Photoshop unless you have to. If you can fix it in real life, in person, and while you're shooting the photos, do it. Like this one here. So I shot this photo. This is kind of on the whim. I saw a wall and I had the strip boxes on me, and I was like, okay, let's shoot it. And of course, this is the shot that, like, wow, everything was perfect, like exactly what I wanted. But if I had to do it again, I probably would pull back the light to make the light little wider. I would have shot horizontal, because this took me another 15 minutes. I mean, it's 15 minutes. It was fun, but that's just saying that if you do this like a couple times, or like 4 times, a couple 100 times, and you got Photoshop every image, yeah, you should have just done it on the field. But yeah, guys, who's here? Who's left? It's almost lunch here, bro. Says Edmar1001. Where you live? Because right now it's like 10:30 p.m. where I'm at. I'm in Virginia. Oh yeah. Doot. Wow, these are kind of cool. Yep, it's a cool session. So, do you guys have any questions before I head out? I definitely, wow. Going through images, I have so many to edit and stuff, but that's kind of cool too. Oh, okay. Oh, this was another one I liked here. The facial expression and the post was amazing. Oh, it was this one here. Oh yeah, that one. Okay, guys. What do you got? Dale Williams, good work, man. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you have anything you want to see on Photoshop or even Premiere, I'm learning a lot in Premiere. Or trying to learn the After Effects Live too. But let's start with Premiere. Premiere, Photoshop. If I can do it, I'll show you guys. This I I would say leave them in the chat, but after the replay of this video goes live, put it in the comments. Because I think there's a really big lag between me showing stuff and talking and to what you guys see. Because I changed the option to normal latency, which is best for high quality viewer playbacks and higher resolutions. The lower latency one is best for real-time interaction. But yes. Oh yeah, Bin Dong. There you go, that's my logo. So look at these. I'm just gonna shoot the shit right now. This is a vinyl. This was cut by Etch Steel and Vinyl. It's a local company here in Newport News, Virginia. They do like etched steel mugs and they cut vinyl. But this is a glow in the dark logo of my logo. Oh wait, I'm on the stream still. Okay. Oh, here it is. There it is. Oh yeah, it's supposed to glow in the dark. I wonder if I can show you guys. This camera's probably not gonna pick it up, but I will try. Turn off lights.
Okay, the lights are on.
Okay. Oh, it is kind of glowing. I can't show you guys because if I turn off the monitor. Oh yeah, it glows. That's kind of cool, right? Ooh, that's yeah, kind of cool look. Ooh, yes. Set energize. No, Siri can't understand Asian. Oh. Set energize.
Energize. Okay. Coming up.
Oh yeah. So coming soon, vinyl cutouts. Ooh, I just noticed that there's an eye missing on this one. Okay. No. Sucks. But yeah. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Hanging with Tony. Is it best to shoot in RAW to get best out of photos? You know, as Frono Photo says, I shoot RAW. And it's funny, if you've watched one of his vlogs, he got kicked out of a theme park wearing that shirt. You know, I need some of that shirt. I need a saying like that. I don't know. I need. Oh, I have. Oh yeah. But yeah. Yes. Shoot RAW. Because why throw away data when you can have it? I mean, back in the day when storage and cards were expensive, yes, shoot JPEG because space, but memory's cheap these days. A 64 gigabyte card is a very good one. Like a middle of the road good one is like $60 for a 64 gigabyte card. Well, back in the day, I remember Costco had a deal on a 512 megabyte CF card, and that junk was like $100. That was expensive. Man, I remember rushing to get one of those when it was on sale Black Friday. And I remember Comp USA, man. Hashtag old school gangster, OG. Comp USA. Huh. They had some good deals. But anyway, yeah, memory is cheap. Shoot RAW. Keep the quality. There's so much more data you can have in a RAW than on a JPEG. A JPEG is like finalized. The dynamic range is much lower. The colors aren't there. When you shoot RAW, you're basically taking the data straight from the sensor and putting it into a file, which can be manipulated in post or Photoshop, or you can do your hot content. Like with JPEGs, color temperature is burned into the photo. You can't change it. You can change it to a point, but when you have all the data there in a RAW, it's like you can change it exactly where you want it. But yeah, shoot RAW if you can. Yes, RAW does take a little more time to process, but automation these days is pretty good in Photoshop or whatever photo editor you have. So honestly, if you shoot a lot of photos, Lightroom you have to get Lightroom. It catalogs the photos for you. You can do most of the edits in Lightroom. Actually, you know, let me go back to the webcam and I'll the thing, and I'll show you. Like, look at all this here. When Lightroom first came out, and I was OG and I started with them. So I don't know if I said it in the video, but I started with Photoshop in version 6, and when version 7 came out, that was when I started learning Photoshop. I'm actually more of a retoucher and not a, I guess, what do you call somebody that creates things in Photoshop. So I retouch photos, make them better, not create photos, and that makes sense. I'm a horrible graphic designer. But yeah, you have all this in Lightroom, and this here, I'm scrolling down, a lot, and it's more than you'll ever need. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff. You can do red eye reduction, you can do spot healing, you can do gradients, you can do brush adjustments. But yeah, I mean, for $10 a month, it's well worth it if you shoot a lot of photos. Or 120 a year. You get Photoshop and Lightroom, which I think is a really good deal. I mean, it adds up over the years, but if you use it, it's worth it. Oh snap! Admar finally answered. This lag is real serious. I guess that's the downfall of having the quality, but you know, this one had to be quality because I was screen sharing. But he said, Admar001 said, Filipino fans, bro. Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah, it would be lunchtime over there too, eh? That's kind of cool. All the way across the globe, and I'm talking to people all over the world. You know, I was doing my cable for my monitor. This fell off the thing. Look, these are kind of cool. Yeah, boy. But I was looking at my analytics, and like most of my viewers are in New York, Florida, or California. I mean, it's scattered across the globe, but I was surprised that like most of my viewers aren't in Virginia, where I'm at, which I guess it makes sense. I haven't really marketed stuff to Virginia, but when I see people like out of state, out of the country, I'm like, wow, nice. But yeah, Lightroom, lots of stuff, amazing. You know, it's crazy that people loved the interface in Lightroom. Well, yeah, we are in an hour and 40 minutes, so I guess if you're stuck here, I guess you're kind of enjoying the live stream. But let's go into a history lesson. So there's an old software which I don't know who uses it anymore. It's called Camera Raw, and basically when you shoot raw photographs, so this is a good tying into hanging with Tony's question about shooting with raw. Like back in the day, you can open a raw image in Camera Raw, which is okay, maybe not. Oh, okay, so this is Camera Raw here. The Camera Raw 10.1. So all those sliders that you saw in Lightroom came way before Photoshop. I don't know when it came out, but back in the OG days, we had to edit raw photos if you're an Adobe fan in this Camera Raw window, which you can do everything you see here is in Lightroom. And these sliders on Lightroom or the Camera Raw became so popular that they even created a filter to add Camera Raw. This filter here wasn't there before, so you can do everything you did in Camera Raw in Photoshop without being in Camera Raw. If that makes sense, because before you had to be in Camera Raw, then you go to Photoshop. But now you can load this thing anytime you want, and these sliders are powerful. Back in the day, you had to go to edit and image adjustments and play with this crap. Photoshop has came a long way since version 1 or version 7 since I started. Premiere started in version 1. Wow, that came a long way too. Let's talk about other photo editors. Some people don't like the subscription model, which I personally don't like myself. I'd rather pay a yearly or pay, to have the software license, but pay when I want to upgrade. But if you, I don't have it installed on this PC, but there's other photo editors that you can get. Okay, so let's go to this one here. Aura HDR. I suck at this. This is another good company that makes good photo editing softwares. If you shoot RAW, this is it right here. You can do almost anything you can do in Camera Raw on this thing. It's only $100 too. Yeah, this is actually more for HDR look, that oversaturated, over-sharpened look, but yeah. See, this is the HDR software. Let me see. Luminar 2018. This is another software for photo editing that you can buy once, and look at that, buy now, $69.99, $69. This is solid, really good photo editor. But you, like me, if you start with something, you honestly stick with it, and that's why I'm still with Adobe. I use Macs, and for example, a video editor or the non-linear NLE, I could be using Final Cut Pro, which runs so much better on. Wow, I just realized I need a de-esser on the mic, but I need a Final Cut Pro runs so much better on a Mac than Premiere runs on a Mac. Like, it just runs smooth. Put this for example, a 2017-18 MacBook. So the MacBook is this thing here. Okay, MacBook. This thing is like super underpowered by, today's standards. It is a mobile processor for the most part. So there was a tech reviewer. He did what is the base model? We're talking about Final Cut Pro here. So it's 1.2 gigahertz. He took the base model, 256 gigabyte RAM. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, and it's an M3 processor. He was able to render and cut and view and edit a 8K video seamlessly. Like, it played back perfectly on this little underpowered machine for Final Cut Pro, and it was running on Premiere. You would have to proxy the file and take all that time to make the 8K file a smaller file, maybe like a 720 or a 1080p. But man, Final Cut Pro definitely is made for a Mac, and if you're using a Mac, if you haven't learned a video software yet, pick up Final Cut Pro. But yeah, back to photo editors. I just ranted about that. But yeah, Luminar 2018, solid, $70. Maybe I should buy this and review it. But yeah, this is like all the talk about people that wants a photo editor but don't want to spend money for Photoshop. Huh, it's solid. Okay, I think it's time to go to bed. Well, I'm not gonna go to bed. I gotta do taxes. Oh yeah, it's that tax season right now. Yeah. Shut down. Okay, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Until next time. Yeah. Like this video if you like it, and share this video if you have any friends that that you think would enjoy this, or if you have a Facebook profile, Twitter profile, Instagram, or whatever, share this video, help me out. Yeah, like this video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, which I think the people that's stayed the whole hour and 45 minutes probably are subscribed. But if you haven't already, subscribe, and thank you for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and until next time, let me know what you want to see. Peace out. Oh, I gotta turn this thing off.